Jeffrey's done so well on the date with Jessica. It's all going so great. Okay, time to just pay the bill and get out of here. Maybe I'll actually have sex with her. The waiter comes, hands them the bill. What do you think Jeffrey does? He looks at Jessica and says, well, you know, so the bill is $18, and so if we split that, it's $9. Oh, no, Jeffrey, she's already left. Don't be like Jeffrey. Adonis. Adonis is a gentleman. Now that does not mean that he is a simp, but he is a strong, successful, masculine man, and that means that he provides for his woman. Adonis understands sexual energy. He understands how to be more masculine so that his woman can be more feminine. Together they unite in a beautiful relationship. I don't want to waste your time with this video. I'm just going to answer the question right now. Who should pay on a date? If you are or want to be a masculine man, you should pay. If you are or want to be a weak, modern, submissive, like soy boy kind of skinny wrist, skinny neck, modern man, then you should split the bill. This is controversial as fuck, and like so many people disagree with me because of this like new modern day movement that like men and women are the same and we're all equal and we can both shut the fuck up, right? Shut the fuck up. I don't know about you. I'll tell you from my personal experience, bro, I'm pushing more and more into the masculine side. I've learned about sexual energies and I want to be more masculine. It feels more authentic. It feels right for me to be more masculine. And you probably feel the same way, even though now it feels tricky because there is a price to pay with being more masculine, and that is providing for your woman. You know for a fact that these modern depolarized relationships don't work, where both men and women are in this middle stage of like androgyny, where they're neither masculine nor feminine. The man brings some masculine traits, but also some feminine traits. The woman brings some feminine traits, but also some masculine traits. People who are here in this middle depolarized gray zone end up saying shit which is really like Disneyfied and like, you know, it's so like loved in the modern day, which is like, oh, like in our relationship we're like best friends. Bro, I know that seems weird. I know that you've probably thought, wait, I really want a relationship where we're like best friends. Trust me when I say, bro, a polarized relationship are not going to be best friends. If you're a masculine man, you wouldn't want to be friends with a feminine woman. You would absolutely like to spend time with them, to get their feminine energy and to give your gift of masculinity. You'd want to love them, to date them, to sleep with them, but you wouldn't consider a feminine like you couldn't even be friends with a feminine woman. This modern like depolarized shit, bro, it fucking ruins relationships. And I seem like a misogyn. I seem like a bad person for what I'm saying. I seem like for some reason people will watch this and say like, yeah, people just chat shit, but when you revolt against like modern standards which don't fucking work, no one's happy in the modern dating scene, are they? So I'm going against the modern dating advice, which is like, yep, we're equal and men and women should split the bill. We should not split the bill. That is an act of androgyny. That is an act of like, yep, see, we're both the same. We're both right here. We're both masculine and feminine. When you meet a woman and you want her to be in her feminine, you need to interact in a way in which you are not like that sort of like depolarized, goofy, asexual boy. You need to act in a way in which you are that more masculine dominating man. What did the masculine dominating men do 50 years ago when they were on a date? They paid. Now with like modern advancements and like, you know, sort of equal rights, yeah, women make their own money. Even a girl who does make her own money, you'd still want her to be in her feminine energy, and she literally wants to be in her feminine energy more. You know, the more and more I have this conversation with women where we speak about masculine and feminine energy, I realize that pretty much, at least in my like bias selection, pretty much every woman I come across actually wants to be more feminine. They just don't really have masculine men to be feminine around because so many men are these like weak, depolarized, androgynous men who are in touch with their emotions. It's very easy for some Jeffrey to hear this and say like, yeah, see, Hamza's a simp, he pays for it. But if that's their perception of what we're saying here, you can tell that they've got bad mental health problems if that's like their conclusion, because this isn't like a way to simp. It's like if there's a girl that you like, it's almost like your place as a man to be the one who provides, who leads, who takes her out and says like, yes, I want to take you out. You want like a fucking line, like, you know, pickup artists talk about line. You want a line that like makes a woman attracted to you. Look her in the eyes and say, I want to take you out. That does some wonders because girls don't hear that these days. They hear like, oh, do you want to chill? Should we Netflix and chill? Do you want to go out to the cinema? Like, you can decide what we watch. Oh, I don't know, just whatever you want to eat, baby. That's what girls hear these days. Weak, modern, feminine men, when they navigate relations with women, and you've probably been like this, right? Depolarized modern men who are like, don't really have many masculine traits, have a lot of like feminine traits because of the conditioning of like the education system. They interact with women in a way that makes women more masculine than they want to be. You don't want to have that effect on your woman. Not only should you do whatever it takes to become more masculine in yourself as an individual, you should also do whatever it takes to become more masculine in your experiences with dating women. Because that sad gray zone, like I'm saying this so much because it pisses me off. Like, you're not allowed to say these things in this video. You're not allowed to say what I'm saying here. I seem like a bad person for what I'm saying, which is essentially that I don't want you to be in this gray middle depolarized zone where you're not masculine and your woman's not feminine, because this is like the modern dating zone. This is the modern dating energy where it's not masculine, not feminine. And everyone in here is fucking depressed and lonely. But if you revolt against this and you say, wait, all the men who are feminine and all the women who are masculine are depressed, lonely, hate their lives, aren't in relationships, aren't having children. I don't want to be like them. I'd rather be way more polarized. I'd rather become masculine, meet a feminine woman. We now feel like we actually need each other. That's the point of a fucking relationship. And that seems so uncool, doesn't it? That special word which I just said, need. When we're polarized, we need each other. The more masculine you get and the less feminine traits you have, the more that you need a feminine woman in your life. The more feminine she is and the less masculine traits she has, the more that she needs a masculine man. But this scares people. Everyone is like a wimp these days where they're scared of needing someone else. And it's like this independence, like individualism era where we're like, oh, I don't need it. Shut the fuck up. I will look you in the fucking eyes and tell you, I need people. No one has the confidence to say this anymore. I need people. I need women in my life. I want a feminine woman in my life. I need brothers in my life. I need validation from the tribe. No one has the confidence to say this because it's so fucking cool to pretend like you don't care about anyone else. Bro, I love being around people. I love being social. I don't want to be this fucking lone wolf that's so praised these days. I don't want to be this like men going their own way, incel, black pill kind of like, I hate women. And I don't want to meet women who are in that stage of like, I don't need men. Men are like, whatever, like I'm an independent. Shut the fuck up. All those people are fucking depressed. When you depend on other people, that is when you actually start cultivating more happiness, love, and joy. And it's so interesting. There is a dependency paradox. When you can depend on other people, that is when you become independent. All of these like strong, independent people who don't need, it's a fucking contradiction. You can't be independent and not need other people. The only way that you can be independent is when you have people you can depend on. There's a paradox. This is interesting as fuck. If you want like the full research, just like Google it. Dependency paradox. This is so interesting. Once you learn this, you'll be like, holy shit, everyone who's been saying this, like I'm a strong independent woman, like you just realize, wait, they're all actually idiots. That's not how independence works at all. You get independence when you have the confidence to venture further away from your secure base. Your secure base is like your parents. When you were a child, this is how it works, right? When you were a child, you needed your parents to be a secure base. If they were secure, loving, and unconditionally loving when you were with them, that would give you more confidence to explore further out as a child, to be able to depend on your parents, let you be more independent. But all of these people with fucked up mental health, with this perception that I don't need anyone, guess what happened to them? They had fucked up parents. They had parents who didn't give them a secure base. They had parents who didn't love them unconditionally. They had parents who, when their child explored and came back, their parent wasn't even like paying attention to them. They had an insecure base. And guess what that means? They now depend on it more. They have to venture out with more fear, anxiety. They can't go further out. So these people you see like, oh, I don't need anyone. Guess what? They're not living that kind of like, you know, independent, adventurous life. They spend all their time on the internet making TikToks and Twitter posts like, oh, you don't need anyone. You go by yourself. Shut the fuck up. It is common sense, but it's like people don't know this anymore. Literally visualize. When would you as like a tribesman be able to explore further by yourself or with other people? That's fucking common sense. Of course, with other people. We go to great lengths, great successes, like to new milestones when we're with other people, and we get with other people when we need them. We're so afraid of saying that word in these days. It's so uncool to say that you need someone. I need my family. I need my friends. If there's a girl that I'm dating who I'm in love with, bro, I need her. I know that's a very big rant for the simple question of like, oh yeah, just tell us who should pay Hamza, you fucking moron. But the reason why I'm ranting about this is because you've got to think, okay, the issues with modern dating and this thing of like, oh, you know, who should split the bill? And like, oh, like it goes a lot bigger than just the individual specific issue of like, okay, who should split the bill? And like, should the man do this? And should the woman do this? There is like a new era in our lives of like social influence, which is trying to push you to be so individual. It's trying to push you to convince you that as a man, you do not need a woman in your life. It's trying to push women to make them believe that as a woman, she does not need a man in her life. This message that a lot of people are accepting is leaving everyone lonely. The happiest you'll ever be is when you get into like a beautiful, loving, polarized relationship, because with that you will then have like the confidence, the independence, the secure base to achieve more in life. And as a man, like I'm realizing more and more, bro, I've been through like the different experiences in terms of like dating, casually, seriously, totally in love, and also through like monk modes. Like I've said this in a previous video, when you watch my videos, especially in terms of dating and in terms of like being productive and doing good habits or bad habits, you're getting a rare experience where you are literally hearing the words of a guy who's experienced like the spectrum. A lot of guys will make videos and all they've ever done is just like hook up with girls. They've just got a high body count. A lot of guys will make videos and all they've ever done is like they got into a long-term serious relationship at age 21 and got married. You know, like the religious kind of guys. And then a lot of guys have just like never really been with girls and they've just stayed low-key and they've done like the men go in their own way, monk mode. You know, I'm not thinking about girls. I've done all of them. And so when I tell you that when you build yourself up as a man and you start attracting like some good quality women that you actually think like, oh shit, like she could literally be the mother of my children. And there's such a loving, but specifically in the modern day, specifically polarized. I hope you understand that term, polarization. Polarized just means pushing things more to the extreme. And that is incredibly important in terms of sexual energy when you get into relationships. The modern world wants you to become depolarized because then we don't need each other. This can get dark. I don't know if like there's a conspiracy theory or some shit, but bro, this modern influence, especially that's happening in Western cultures where people are becoming depolarized, we're not masculine, feminine, we're all in the middle gray zone. We're all here now, so we don't need each other because like if we were here and here, masculine, feminine, here I am as a man, here she is as a woman, we're so different that now we actually complement each other because it's like she's bringing me parts of her which I don't really have, energy of hers, thoughts, inspiration of hers that I don't have, and I'm doing the exact same thing. So now it's like we unite in like a beautiful experience. We need each other. There's such like a new experience to have together. But when you've been depolarized because of this modern influence that like men should be in touch with their feminine side and like, you go girl, you're a strong independent woman, when you're in the middle you don't need each other. You're lonely. And the consequences of this, you know, it's like loneliness, depression, bro. The consequences of this is that your country will fucking crumble. Nations fall when this happens. Why? Because when you don't need each other, people don't get into families. The family is literally the most important thing there is. When families aren't being created, the entire country falls. It crumbles. Like this weak society that we live in, what are we gonna fight for? If shit went down, what are we gonna fight for? What are the men of like this country or the United States, what are they gonna fight for? Their fucking anime pillow, their virtual reality porn, the bitcoins or some shit. What are they gonna fight for, bro? And then compare that against a country who still extremely values and prioritizes the family. The men from that country are fighting for their fucking wives and their children. Very simple conversational topic of who should pay for a date, and you don't realize how fucking deep this gets. You need to become more masculine. What's happening in like the greater realm of like the country, the society, politics, fair enough. We don't like, you know, we don't have that much of a control over it, but you have total control over your own sexual energy. You need to become more masculine. It needs to become like a fucking chapter of your life where you're like, oh shit, this is like the big thing in your mind. You wake up thinking, yeah, I'm gonna get more masculine. How do I get more masculine? I'm gonna start like reading the books on masculinity and really understanding, then implementing it and get more disciplined. Say that to yourself with some conviction, like, I will become more masculine. I am masculine. Because when you see that future and you start experiencing more and more and more polarized like relationships, you start realizing like just how beautiful women actually are, how like necessary they are in your life. But when you're way here in the middle, it's so easy to dismiss them and say like, oh yeah, I don't care about girls. Right now, just close your eyes and just visualize yourself just becoming more masculine. Just flashes of you doing the right things, the masculine things that like make you feel like a fucking man. And then you meet her and she's been doing all of the things that make her feminine and makes her feel like a woman. And you two complement each other so well. And you can build an amazing life and family together. And your family becomes like your biggest source of inspiration. You're like one of those guys who's even more successful at like age 40 because his family inspire him instead of like, you know, plateauing and getting complacent like most other guys. See her face in your mind and then just see the alternate reality where you see her face but you haven't been getting more masculine and she's not attracted to you because she's here, you're here, and she wants to be with a man who's here. Who's gonna take her from you? If you're gonna allow that and you're not gonna put in the work, then you are fucked in the head. I know I'm supposed to like be nice and stuff, but like if you can visualize something like this, and this is raw objective truth, this is truth. If you will allow this to happen, it's unacceptable. You will be that man who polarizes yourself, pushes yourself more to the extreme sides of masculinity. You need to be almost extremely masculine by modern standards to be masculine enough, because modern standards, of course, like hates masculinity and everything, so their threshold for like acceptable masculinity is too low. See yourself once again doing the right things. You know exactly what they are. Become more masculine. That is your new mission. Click on this video right now to learn more about masculinity. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.